So you want a fragrance that lasts, and you want one that lasts in the warmer months. Well, I got you. In fact, all these fragrances right here, they all last longer than Andy Stitzer. They should probably have a warning label on the back of the box that says, if these fragrances last longer than 8 hours, call a doctor. Want to know what those fragrances are? Well, stay tuned to find out. Cue that intro. What's going on, my beautiful fragrance family? I hope each and every one of you are doing amazing today. Welcome back to My2Scents. My name is Brian, and this is the channel all about helping boost your confidence through the art of fragrance and helping you become a lasting scent memory. It's not always easy to find fragrances, especially citrus-heavy freshies, that last in the warmer months or just last at all. I mean, there's plenty of them out there, and today I've got 5 for you. In fact, I've got 3 cheapies and I got 2 niche. And all these 5 fragrances, they just last and they smell really good. They smell very fresh and they're very easy to wear. So let's cut through the fat and get straight to the meat in today's whiffs and sniffs. First up on my list comes from the house of Lattafa. And this is Ajazi. New to my collection, but I'm going to tell you what, man, very impressed with this fragrance. At first, I wasn't. And then I wore it a few times. Man, I'm gonna tell you what, this thing is a beast. I love what this fragrance does because it's a combination of so many different other types of fragrances, like Bleu de Chanel. You get a little bit of like Invictus in there. You also get some Dior Sauvage. It's a little bit of everything blue, and it's a great fragrance that lasts. You get a buttload of citrus up top. You got some nice lavender in there. There's some nice spices mixed throughout it, so you're getting this nice spicy freshness. There's a really nice underlying like vanillic amber to this as well, adding some sweetness. Buttloads of ambroxan. I mean, like buttloads of ambroxan to give this some nice lasting power and to add a nice smooth, clean woodiness to it. I get 8+ hours of longevity out of this, and it's very fresh. You get good projection within the first few hours. I do become a little nose blind to this fragrance. That's why I actually thought when I started wearing it, it didn't last long. But after 8 hours and people are still noticing you, it means it lasts, and you probably just became nose blind to it. At least that's what usually happens for me when there's buttloads of ambroxan or ICU Super in certain types of fragrances. But Ajazi, cheap. $23, $24, maybe about $30 for this. I don't remember how much I paid. I think it was like 23 bucks. If you're looking for a long-lasting freshie that's going to be great in the warm months, definitely check it out. Lattafa Ajazi. Up next, we're going niche, and we're going to go with the house of Nishane, and this is Ige. Super freshy. I like what this fragrance does because not only is it long lasting, but it also brings back a lot of awesome memories. I grew up in the great state of Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. And growing up, I had awesome neighbors, the Yeekums. They were Greek. And I learned so much about Greek culture. I learned about such amazing Greek food. Oh man, Greek food. Dolmathakia, spanakopita, baklava. Oh my God, saganaki. God, I love Greek culture. I love Greek food. But I also love ouzo. And I believe that there is this really nice kind of ouzo note in this. I know that there's licorice and star anise, but they kind of create this nice ouzo effect. But not only do you have like this nice ouzo vibe going on, you also have some yuzu. There's a nice watery quality in this, maybe some violet leaf, and then you have this really refreshing mint. There's also a really nice clean like olibanum, so you almost have this nice spicy smoky quality to it as well, but it's a very clean smoke. This isn't overly smoky, more incensey than smoky. You're also going to get a little bit of sweetness from that as well, but Ige is awesome. I love this fragrance. I get 8 hours of longevity out of it. The way this dries down, it just dries down very fresh, very clean smelling, kind of invigorating, coming from that licorice and the olibanum, and just the way that the textiles of this fragrance kind of combine together. You get this nice salty quality to it as well. It kind of reminds me of like sitting on a patio somewhere in the Mediterranean, looking out over the ocean, eating some amazing food and drinking some ouzo. These are popping up at discounters quite often. That's where I got mine. I highly suggest going that avenue because these range in, that $140, $150 range for a 50 ml. My opinion, completely worth it. But I would say this is more of an acquired taste, so I would test drive before you buy. But if you're looking for a unique freshie that lasts, then definitely check out Nishane Ige. This next one comes from the house of Rasasi, and it's Fattan, or as I like to call it,
Fat tan, bro. Fat tan.
This is a great fragrance. Now, this is definitely a inspiration or a clone of Terre d'Hermes, but this is different, a lot different actually. The big components of this are going to be the grapefruit that are in it and the vetiver. And it does dry down to smell a lot more like Terre d'Hermes, but this is fruitier, it's sweeter, it's more citrusy, and this is like bright citrus compared to Terre d'Hermes being a little bit more of that earthy and dirty citrus. So you're gonna have grapefruit, you got vetiver, there's some really clean white musks in this, a little bit of like an oak mossy vibe, kind of a green woodiness in the base, and then you're gonna have some amber and then some more woods. This is a great fragrance. Honestly, I get 8+ hours out of this one. In fact, for the price you can find these at, I think I got mine for $35, $40 at fragrancebuy.ca. It's fantastic because you get really good longevity out of this. Projection is really nice in the first few hours because the citrus, the grapefruit on my skin really lasts and has a nice sweetness to it. And it's not bubblegummy sweet. I think this is a banger. If you're looking for something that's gonna last, if you wanna find something that's, you know, maybe you like Terre d'Hermes, but maybe you're a little tired of it, or you're looking for something that's a little bit more fresher and fruitier, brighter in the citrus aspect, definitely check out Rasasi.
Fattan, bro. Fattan.
Fattan. It's Fattan. I wore this one just the other day because, well, it's my #1 freshie. It's my #1 long-lasting spring and summer banger. In fact, I like to wear this fragrance sometimes all year round because I freaking love it. And it's coming from the house of xerjoff, and this is 40 knots. If you've been following this channel for some time now, you know how much I freaking love this fragrance. 40 knots is just very luxurious smelling. It's a well put together fragrance that's very simplistic, but just smells so stinking good. This, in longevity, I get 12+ hours. This has a buttload of clean woods in it, but you think like driftwood, cedar wood, oak, and a lot of ICO super as well. That's really a lot of the woods that you're getting, but they're very clean smelling, but they have depth to them. You also get a really nice salinity through this with some nice C notes, possibly a little bit of salt actually sprinkled in there. You get a nice ambery sweetness. It almost creates like a vanillic, boozy quality to it. You get some nice green notes sitting in the heart of this. So you get a nice green quality. There's a nice watery quality to it as well. And then you get a buttload of musks. And that's really what's helping keep this thing going. Possibly also some ambroxan in here as well. Not 100% for sure, but I'll tell you this, I don't become nose blind to this. I smell it all frickin' day, and so do those around me. This is a 2 or 3 spray for me because it is quite heavy and it's quite thick within the first few hours, and then it settles down, but man, this thing just leaves an awesome sillage. I will never stop hyping this fragrance. It's freaking badass. Straight up banger. I am so glad to have worn it just the other day, and I can't wait to wear it again very soon because, man, it's a banger. Straight up. So if you're looking for a long-lasting freshie, a nice aquatic fragrance that has some depth to it, not very citrusy because there's not really any citrus to this, but it just smells like a luxury vacation in a bottle, then definitely check out xerjoff 40 knots. Last but not least on my list is also a new inquiry to my collection, and this is from Al Haramain. This is Amber Oud, and this is the Emerald Edition. If you can tell by the juice, or at least the color of the glass. Now, I don't know much about this fragrance, honestly. You can't find notes on it anywhere, or at least I haven't been able to. So I kind of gave up a couple weeks ago when I couldn't find it. So there might be notes out there now. This did remind me of something the first time I smelled it. And I said green Irish tweed. And it does. It has a lot of those green Irish tweed characteristics. A lot. But one of my subscribers told me it's Shea Bond. And that made sense to me. Now, I bought Shea Bond from Bond number 9, God, probably over a year ago. And I actually sold it off because I did not like it as much as green Irish tweed. It was a lot more grassier. Like, and when I'm talking grassy, I mean, it smells like grass. It's got a bitterness to it. Like if you've ever taken a blade of grass and broken it in half and smelled it, that's pretty much exactly what it smelled like for a while. Not for the entirety of the fragrance. And that is exactly what this fragrance does. But for some reason, man, I'm liking this. And I love green Irish tweed, don't get me wrong. But man, for $60 for a 60 ml, it's pretty stinking good. Now, this is what I gathered from this fragrance. You got some green Irish tweed in there, so there's some lemon verbena. All right, so you're getting that nice, fresh, soapy cleanliness coming from that lemon verbena, which is actually adding a little bit of like a citric quality to it as well. There's a bunch of citrus up top, and I'm gonna guess that most of it is gonna be lemon and grapefruit and bergamot. There is definitely something in here that is recreating the smell of fresh cut grass, because that definitely happens, especially throughout the heart, and it's adding like this bitterness to it, but there's also an underlying sweet quality to it that's adding a creaminess to it as well. Just really nice and clean, especially, I mean, throughout the entire fragrance, it just smells clean and green. And then to finish everything off, and actually probably to start the composition as well, you get a buttload of ambroxan. I mean, this thing just lasts. I get 9-10 hours out of this. It does project very heavily within the first few hours. Then it sits a lot closer to the skin. Now, a good way to kind of sample this scent profile, because I don't think you're going to be able to find samples or decants of this, is Shea Bond. Try a sample of Shea Bond and see if you like that, profile. If you're not willing to spend that money, check this out. It's really good and it's really long lasting. And maybe my nose has just gotten different, but I like this. But if you like green Irish tweed and you're looking for something that's got a little bit more greenness to it and a lot more lasting power, then definitely check this out. I know you can find them right now at fragrancebuy.ca. So it's Al Hermain Amber Oud Emerald Edition. All right, there it is, guys. 5 fragrances that last longer than Andy Stitzer. Y'all figured out who Andy Stitzer is yet? If you have, drop me a comment down below. And while you're down there, leave me some of your favorite freshies that last for frickin' ever. Let me know some of your springtime, summertime fragrances that just last. I have so many more freshies that last that I could add to another episode, and if this episode does well, I will do just that. So don't forget to hit that like button, guys. But thank you so stinking much for all your love and support. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. If you enjoyed today's content, then do me a favor and like, comment, share, and subscribe. And always remember, you're stinking beautiful. And until next time, happy scent trails.